Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of July 31st, 2022. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. It really is an incredibly important time. I do think that this week features the most karmic day of the year, certainly one of the most important days of the year, and I would even say of the decade as well. When Uranus meets the North Node, as when any planet meets the North Node, whether it's within your chart as a transit or collectively, it represents an important seed moment. It is the very beginning. And what it portends is the beginning of an important lesson that we're ready for. Sort of a leap forward on a karmic level, the ways in which we are growing and moving into our collective future is part of what's indicated. What's happening this week with Uranus meeting the North Node, the planet of the future, meeting the symbol in the sky that speaks to aligning with our journey, our collective journey towards greater love and greater wisdom. Well, this really becomes all about the way in which we are moving forward. But there's another layer of what's taking place now that makes it that much more important. And that is Mars. When Mars meets Uranus in the sky, as they do once every 2 years or so, well, that can make for the most shocking day of the year, the most surprising day of the year. And it can be a day that represents extremes, a time that represents energy that is all or nothing, if you will. We're either all loving, and meaning we individually are really loving how quickly things are changing, or we're really not. So much of it depends on whether or not we think the changes are good. One thing is for sure, though, Mars conjunct Uranus does shake things up, and it does invite us to consider and contemplate how different things can be, and in some cases in an instant. Now you add the North Node to the mix. I think that this is the kind of energy really that can change lives in an instant. It's about seeing a whole new way, having a whole new understanding as to what the future could be and could look like. This is also the birth of key ideas that can start to set in at a time like this. I want you to consider the fact that Uranus is the ruling planet, the modern ruling planet of the sign of Aquarius. We are now moving towards a full moon in the sign of Aquarius that is going to activate last year's Saturn-Uranus square. And it is, of course, the energy of Aquarius that's going to take on even more importance once we get into next year, once Pluto starts stepping in and out of the sign of Aquarius. This is energy I have spoken of at length, that's for sure, and I'll continue to. And I will link to some videos below where you can see me exploring the significance of all of this. But I wanted to mention it now because what happens with Uranus, especially in this time frame, becomes that much more important as we are collectively gearing up for a sense of embarking on a brand new chapter collectively, a brand new sense of us walking a different path where it comes to how we understand our humanity, our time here on earth, our priorities. What gets our focus intensely so is on the verge of going through a shift. It's already been in the making. Ever since late March and early April of 2020, when Saturn moved into the sign of Aquarius and met Mars there, that was the very beginning of a shift that we are going to fully embrace once we start moving into next year and the year after as well. And so that relates to right now, because Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, meeting Mars, meeting the North Node. What might that look like karmically? What might this new chapter that we are on the precipice of as humanity, what could that look like for more of us? Well, the spiritual urge of what that could be is part of what is going to show up for us now. Whether it's new ideas being presented, very possible. The ways in which we really want to watch what quote unquote goes viral in terms of ideas, in terms of media. This is, after all, Uranus dealing in pure thought form. So it's what very quickly has our attention, and also what very quickly feels like it riles us up. It gets a whole lot of us feeling more awake or more engaged in some way. The energy of Uranus and Mars can be very impulsive. That's for sure. That is part of what makes it so surprising, or the most shocking day of the year. But it is the added layer of the North Node that ensures whatever feels like it is so surprising, so quick moving, ultimately is part of a higher, more loving vision for us as a collective. The way that I see the North Node is in its most meta sense, having to do with that unique journey of embodiment of greater love and greater wisdom. That is ultimately what we're here to learn over the course of this lifetime individually, but also that is the collective soul urge as well. We collectively have a desire to know what it is to be in love and wisdom that much more, to honor that energy within us and within each of us as well. But we are moving in that direction in our very human and very messy and imperfect way, without a doubt. And sometimes as part of that journey, we may not realize it, but unconsciously we may do things that end up causing pain to ourselves or to others. But even that which looks completely chaotic, even that which looks uncertain and yes, painful, can be part of that ultimate divine soul urge that is moving us towards greater love and greater wisdom. I feel like this triple conjunction of the North Node, Mars, and Uranus is like a wake-up call, but it's almost like an instant realization. It is a chance to really leave the past behind, including the pain of the past, the hurt of the past, and to leap forward. You know, I am very much of the belief that our consciousness changes our karmic path, our karmic reality. I think so much of what, and sometimes how we may view the world and the decisions we make, can be rooted in fear, and the fear that what we have done may be done to us. But the truth is that once you're aware that there was something that occurred, that if you had a chance to do it again, you would do it very differently. You would be wiser, you would be more loving, you would be more conscious, you would be more caring. That in and of itself transforms your karmic path going forward from here. That awareness in and of itself frees you of karmic burden, and instead encourages you now to shift things. And it does shift things for you moving forward from here. We don't need to relive patterns once we become aware of those patterns. We don't need to embrace and engage the same karmic lessons again and again and again once we're aware that this is a lesson and we've learned it. Learning it ensures that we don't have to repeat it. And consciousness is learning, is integrating the lesson. And so I feel like as I look at this triple conjunction, which I think is the most karmic day of the year, one of the most important days of the year, even of the decade, I would go so far as to say that this truly is an opportunity for so much of us, and so many of us, to leap into a future that feels unexpected, but can also feel really inspired. Can feel scary because we don't know what could be next. And yet there's something enlivening. It's like the energy of freedom and the energy of life together. We free ourselves from the limitations of the past, the bondage of the past. We free ourselves from the mistakes that we have made, because now not only are we doing things different, But we are different. And because we are different, everything changes as a result. There's this sentiment, right? It's sort of a saying. I wouldn't say it's a quote, but it's this idea that when things change within you, everything changes around you. This energy, this triple conjunction is happening in the sign of Taurus. And that is energy that has to do with the earthly plane. It has to do with honoring our earthly existence, understanding that being embodied is a part of our spiritual journey. And even though our embodiment in this incarnation might be finite, it is only for a few years, right, if we're lucky. And even though there is something within us that is infinite, that will continue on, it is that finite part of life, of our spiritual learning, that the sign of Taurus encourages us to honor. This is the energy of the five senses as well. And it is said that Buddha was a Taurus. So the reason it said that is, first of all, there's a whole lot of charts floating around for the Buddha. Some charts put him as a Aries. I've seen a chart that put him as Pisces. So we don't know the exact date, but many have said that he was born on the 4th day of the 4th month of the Chinese calendar, which would very comfortably put him in the energy of Taurus. And you can see it when you look at a lot of the Buddhist philosophies, this idea that being so present with your senses frees you of the limitations of mind, of the regret of the past. It frees you of desire. That desire may be to do the past differently, for the past to be different. That desire may be for what it is that we are wanting to have happen. But it is only by being truly with ourselves in our five senses that we are freed of longing and expectation and the pain that that can create, the suffering that that can create. And so what would it look like to not only have this understanding, but in an instant to feel it integrate within us? Mars as an energy is very embodied as well. It is an energy that has a very strong physicality to it. It's the vitality of life. It's adrenaline, right? It's that juice that we feel within us that keeps us going, keeps us moving. And that's why it's part of the survival instinct. It's also aligned with sexual instinct as well, which is a part of the human condition, right? It is part of our physical embodiment in this lifetime as well. But Uranus, in contrast, is all mind. It is pure intellect. It is pure thought. On the level of our physical selves, we have so many differences. But on the level of those things that are eternal about us, there is thought. There is mind. On a level of ideas and capability, on a mind level, truly that is where equality is. That is where equality is found. Cultures that have strong signatures of Aquarius in their country's charts tend to prioritize education and tend to prioritize equality within that country or culture as well. And so what would it look like for us to consider equality in new ways? But in particular, keep in mind that wherever Uranus goes, whatever sign Uranus moves through, we are moving towards freedom and equality there. With the North Node in Mars, it's like this adrenaline, accelerated, impulsive leap forward in this larger trend that we've been in since 2018 with Uranus moving through the sign of Taurus. This is about redefining prosperity, understanding the economy differently, wanting to make the economy more fair in some way as well. Now, a lot of people put Uranus and Taurus and align it with the way in which cryptocurrencies have become very pervasive. But even cryptocurrencies in their own way were founded on a desire to equalize the economy as well. And I know that that can be debatable. So I'm not, getting into all of that. I don't know enough about that. But I do know that when you look at these things philosophically, now how things actually end up in practice can be a different thing. but I mean in a higher, more meta, more philosophical sense. And so this triple conjunction really is the star of the show now. We are entering the week with this energy. We'll feel it through the first days of the week in particular. But we've got a lot of other things happening at the same time, which to me magnifies the good fortune of this time as well. And that mainly has to do with the Sun trine Jupiter. Now, if you think back to last week's new moon, a very fortunate new moon, the most fortunate new moon of the year, I believe it to be, we're still working with that energy. And a part of what's helping us to magnify the good fortune of that energy is the fact that it will be at the very beginning of the week, under the light of this triple conjunction, that Jupiter and the Sun will speak in supreme harmony. Jupiter and the Sun trine tends to denote one of the more fortunate days of the year as well. Normally, Jupiter conjunct the Sun is the luckiest day of the year. Trine the Sun is a pretty close second, and we get the trine normally twice a year. And so here we are. This is an important moment with these energies, the Sun and Jupiter both in fire signs. There's an element here of owning our creativity, our creative vision, our power, owning our will, deciding how we're going to focus it, and through our own action, making wonderful, positive developments come about for us. Feeling as if things are able to transform and change in a way that we really like as a result of us harnessing our will and aiming it in the direction we desire to go. As much as there's this strong karmic signature, right? And to me, karmic signature means it's like the events that happen, they're meant to, their time has come. And whatever events happen, it's like we can decide that they are going to be part of our journey towards greater love and greater wisdom. That's when we really harness their potential. But sometimes it's like the universe wants you to participate in the unfolding of your change, your blessings, your possibility, as is the case now with the Sun trine Jupiter. This is absolutely phenomenal energy. Whatever matters to you, I would take some step right out of the gate at the beginning of the week to align with it in a way that feels right to you. Wherever it is that you're hoping for that little bit of an extra boost, that little bit of extra luck, you want things to go your way, take some step, even if it's symbolic. You've got just that extra cosmic support to have things go away that you like. On Tuesday, we've got some truly beautiful energy, very romantic, with Venus speaking with Mars and Uranus both. This is wonderful for romantic surprises. It's also really nice for engaging your unique beauty, celebrating your unique beauty in a way that I think can help you to feel really good about outcomes as well. I would also add with this though, Venus is in the sign of Cancer. Cancer has to do with home, of course. Now, whether that's your own living space, whether that's your family of origin or the family that you've created for yourself, it can be there that we find a real sense of bonding and connection with other people, a real sense of knowing ourselves and what it means to be at home with ourselves in new ways, but also connections with family members. Family gatherings, for example, can also feel like very safe spaces for us, and spaces that allow us to move into the future, that allow us to leave the hurts of the past behind us as part of feeling that renewed sense of connection with these people in our families, with these people that we love. And on Thursday, Mercury moves into the sign of Virgo. Now, this is where Mercury is considered exalted. It's one of Mercury's home signs. The other home sign is Gemini, and Mercury ruling the sign of Virgo. This is where Mercury tends to bring forward the part of him that's that much more introspective, but able to understand nuances that much more, able to have a depth of perception as well. Consider this Venus as well, really likes being in the sign of Cancer. And so you add these together, right? These different layers. And it speaks to how the sky is moving us in a direction of greater strength and greater certainty as well. But with Mercury, this is going to be important for a few reasons. One of the main reasons it's important is just that Mercury is so strong here. So more of us are likely to feel spontaneous, wanting to engage other people, wanting to have a genuine desire to understand people and engage conversation as well. But also personally wanting to understand what's going on in our own lives, whether it's examining our own psyche or examining the circumstances of our life. It is Mercury in Virgo that can really help us to understand with nuance, with depth, and a depth of appreciation as well. At the same time, though, keep in mind that as we navigate later in this month, it is here in the sign of Virgo that Mercury is going to go into shadow. And it is going to be in September that Mercury will go retrograde. So pay attention to what starts showing up for you now. Even though we're not in Mercury retrograde season yet, we're not that far away. And so if there's anything that you want to initiate that really matters to you, any important shopping that you want to do, actually, I would say Mercury in the sign of Virgo tends to be really good for technology. I would be a little bit mindful with Mars conjunct Uranus, because that is where technologies really can feel like all of a sudden we have to pay attention to them. It's like they become very urgent matters in some way. For all that, though, Mercury in Virgo, as we move later into the week, can help bring calm and help us to understand the best way to engage technologies to serve us well. What I love about this week for us, well, there's so much here, but without a doubt, the star of the show now is the triple conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. Mars and Uranus getting together makes for the most shocking day of the year, actually of about a 2-year period of time. But you add to this the fact that we've got the North Node here, and whatever surprises us, whether it's personally or collectively, ultimately is part of a soul level realization that we are ready to have. It is part of some collective breakthrough that we are on the verge of that is going to accelerate our pathway towards greater love, greater wisdom, yes, but also a greater sense of equality, a greater sense of appreciation, and a greater sense of individuality as well. Where it is that we are able to truly be ourselves that much more fully, it also offers a pathway to be that much more at peace, free of the regrets of the past, free of the desire to have anything be different than it already is. When we can truly just be present with ourselves with absolute acceptance, that is the pathway to a new freedom and a new happiness that I think is going to be more available to more of us in an instant. Well, thank you so much for watching. What do you love about this week? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading you guys. And to prove it to you, here are some of my most recent favorite comments. Thank you to everybody who likes, who comments, who subscribes, who shares, who thumbs up. All of it means so much. I'm so grateful for it. And of course, if you want to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you and your sign, log on to NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. Would choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University presents some truly incredible offerings and incredible courses coming up this September that I'm so excited to tell you about. We have got an incredible speaker series, and we have got some big dog astrologers who are here to teach you with our world famous Choose Your Tuition rate, as low as just $5 a class. That is an unheard of rate to learn from this caliber of astrologer that I'm excited to present to you coming up this September. So we've got a limited time Choose Your Tuition rate. Let's start with my friend Ursula Stockder. Ursula really is such a person of depth and understanding and nuance. She is somebody who is a Jungian analyst, a very accomplished Jungian analyst at that, and an astrologer. And she has this depth of appreciation and study of the tarot. And she's going to bring all that together in this truly unique and special course, Tarot and Astrology from a Jungian perspective. Now, this class has been shown to be very popular. It was just announced recently, and so many students are really excited about it. And if you sign up for a limited time only, you can choose your tuition rate. as low as just $5 a class. So it is a very thorough class I am putting up here while I'm talking. You should be seeing the different topics that are going to be covered over the course of 5 weeks by the one and only Ursula Stockder. And I am just so proud to have this caliber of astrologer. She's taught at Synchronicity University before, was so popular, was so insightful, and she teaches with such sensitivity. And it really is about encouraging you to have a depth of relationship appreciation and perception to your own tarot deck. It's about you understanding yourself and your own unconscious in relation to the tarot deck, how you are in partnership with the tarot deck that makes her truly stand out and makes this class that much more outstanding. So I hope that you will join us. You can visit synchronicityuniversity.com, and there you can learn more. You can get that much more detailed descriptions of each of the classes Ursula is going to be teaching, and you can sign up there as well. synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University presents an outstanding September 2022 speaker series with some of the most brilliant astrologers alive today. And for a limited time, you can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class, an unheard of rate to learn from this caliber of astrologer. I'm so excited to celebrate this incredible crew with you. I'm going to start with Colin Bedell's superstar astrologer, Colin Bedell of Queer Cosmos. Now, his expertise is all about relational astrology, understanding the astrology of relationships, and he is going to bring such depth to the topic, and you'll be able to learn from him. My friend Yuridia Robles. Now, Yuridia, not only is she a world-renowned expert in Mayan astrology, and we co-wrote a book on Mayan astrology together, but she is also an expert and widely recognized as somebody who has written extensively and taught extensively on the part of fortune. So she's the perfect person to teach a class on the part of fortune, a very popular topic. So I'm really excited to have her back showcasing her brilliance. We have my friend Nicole Garceau, and Nicole is my fellow Canadian, yes, but she's also a brilliant astrologer as well. And she is going to be teaching a very specific method that you can apply right away to understand your chart and to bring that much more skills to your interpretations as well. We have my friend Helene of Heart House Astrology. Helene is amazing. She really, like, her astrology called Heart House Astrology makes so much sense because she brings such heart to her astrology. Well, she's going to be looking at Uranus, right? We were just talking about Uranus earlier. And what a wonderful topic to discuss, where you really understand this planet of freedom and change, but from Helene's perspective, from that heart perspective that I think is going to be so valuable. And then Quan Tracy Cherry, he is somebody with an academic background. He's a lawyer by trade, and he's just a brilliant astrologer and is going to bring his unique perspective. He knows so much. And when he taught before, he was just so popular. So I'm really looking forward to having him back as well. So we have this incredible September 2022 speaker series at Synchronicity University for a very limited time. You can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class. And you can learn a lot more about the classes and sign up at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University presents the one, the only Acyuta-bhava Das. Now, this caliber of astrologer being at Synchronicity University, this is like what I dreamed of. This is what I always wanted, to make this quality of astrologer and astrology learning accessible to the masses. And we've really done it with this course. The mystical roots of astrology is what we are looking at in Acyuta-bhava Das's class. And it is so thorough. He's going to be taking you through planets and signs and houses and really helping you to understand not only the mystical roots, but how you can see these different core elements of the chart more mystically and interpret them from that space of integrating spirituality into it. Now, Acyuta-bhava Das is a YouTube superstar, right? He's a phenomenon, and he's just one of the best astrologers out there. I'm so proud to have him back at Synchronicity University, this time for a 5-week course on a topic that I'm sure is going to be so popular and so meaningful to so many people. So check him out. Learn more about each of the classes, and you can sign up for a very limited time. You can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class to learn from the one and only YouTube superstar Acyuta-bhava Das at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. And I'm so excited to announce my connection to ISAR Astrology. Now, if you go to ISAR2022.org, that's where you can learn all about this upcoming massive international astrology conference event that is taking place in Denver very soon. We're about less than 4 weeks away. So it's really very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to meeting my fellow astrologers and friends and fans of astrology. There are going to be truly remarkable speakers there as well. So I hope that you can join us. Now, you add to this another layer, and that is that I will be available to meet and hug people. I'm not doing any consultations. I'll be too busy for that. And yet I'll be teaching 2 classes. I will be around, and I am very much looking forward to meeting friends and fans. I think it's going to be just so wonderful and so lovely and so rewarding as well. And as part of my connection to ISAR, you can go to isarastrology.org, and there you can sign up for my upcoming workshop on Lilith. That workshop is taking place in November, but you can sign up now. Now, the great thing about this workshop is it is the definitive workshop on Black Moon Lilith. We are going to go through understanding her myth, her signs, her houses, her aspects, to really get you understanding Lilith and fortifying that relationship to Black Moon Lilith in your own chart as well. So I hope that you will check that out. Links are in the description below. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you online or in person as well. And thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really hope that you and I, all of us, embrace the potential and the possibilities here. Remember, this is a seed moment. It is a beginning that accelerates our pathway forward collectively and individually as well. I'll be talking a lot more about this in the days ahead in the shorts and things that I produce, and of course on Instagram and on TikTok. So thank you wherever you find me. Thank you for joining me there. And thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.